The photo showed her holding a starving child, smiling. Perfect teeth, perfect makeup. The child's ribs were showing through his shirt. She had 4.3 million likes on that post. The caption said she donated $100,000 to build a school. That was 3 months ago. Yesterday, the charity she claimed to work with released a statement. They'd never heard of her. The school didn't exist. And that child in the photo? He wasn't even from the country she said she visited. Before we dive in, drop a comment and let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you. If you enjoy stories like this, be sure to like the video, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and share it with someone who'd love it too. Her name was Eva Chen, 26, lifestyle influencer, 8.2 million followers across platforms, brand deals with major companies, and her own skincare line launching next month. She'd built an empire on authenticity, on being real, on showing her followers the unfiltered truth. Except none of it was true. And now the internet knew. It started with a blog post, a small non-profit called Hope Without Borders. They worked in Uganda, had been for 12 years. Legit operation, transparent financials, real boots on the ground. Someone sent them Eva's post, the one where she claimed to have partnered with them, where she showed herself distributing food, building wells, teaching kids to read. The executive director, a woman named Margaret, looked at the photos, looked at the locations, looked at the dates. Then she called her team. We need to make a statement. The statement was simple, professional, devastating. And Hope Without Borders has never partnered with or received donations from Eva Chen. The images she posted were not taken at any of our facilities. We have no record of her visiting Uganda during the time period she claimed. We take the misrepresentation of charitable work seriously and are exploring all legal options. They posted it on their website, their social media. Then they waited. The internet exploded in 11 minutes. Screenshots everywhere, comments pouring in, people tagging Eva, demanding answers. Her followers split into two camps, believers who said it was a misunderstanding, and the others, the ones who started digging. They found more inconsistencies. A post from 6 months ago where she claimed to build homes in Haiti. The charity she named said the same thing. Never heard of her. Another post. A clean water initiative in Kenya. Same story. Fake. Eva's team went into crisis mode, deleted comments, disabled replies, posted a statement. There seems to be some confusion regarding my charity partnerships. I'm working with my team to clarify the details. I've always been committed to making a difference and will address this fully soon. It was vague, corporate, wrong tone. The internet smelled blood. Her name was trending within an hour, not for the reasons she wanted. News outlets picked it up, entertainment sites, then mainstream media. Influencer accused of faking charity work. One outlet got an interview with Margaret from Hope Without Borders. Margaret was calm, measured, spoke in facts. Charity fraud is not victimless. When someone exploits the suffering of others for personal gain, they damage the credibility of organizations doing real work. They make it harder for us to raise funds, to help people who actually need it. Eva watched the interview from her apartment in LA penthouse, floor-to-ceiling windows, view of the city. She sat on her white couch in her white living room and watched her career disintegrate in real time. Her phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Texts from her manager, her publicist, her lawyer, brands pulling out, sponsorships canceled, meeting requests withdrawn. She silenced it. Stared at the screen, at Margaret's face, at the disappointment in her eyes. The truth was worse than what they knew. Eva had never been to Uganda, or Haiti, or Kenya. She'd never left the country for charity work. The photos were stock images, purchased from websites, photoshopped. She'd hired a graphic designer. Paid cash. had him composite her into scenes, make it look real. The stories were fabricated, the donations were lies, all of it. Every single post, 3 years of charitable persona, built on nothing. She told herself it wasn't hurting anyone, that it was just marketing, just building a brand. Everyone did it, stretched the truth, made things look better than they were, but she'd crossed a line. She knew it, had known it from the start. Just didn't think she'd get caught. Didn't think anyone would check. People believed what they wanted to believe, and she'd given them something to believe in. A beautiful girl making the world better. It was a good story. Good stories sold. Her phone rang. Private number. She almost didn't answer, but something told her to. Hello? Is this Ava Chen? Male voice. Professional. Who's asking? My name is David Kim. I'm a reporter with the Los Angeles Times. I'm doing a story on the charity fraud allegations. Would you like to comment? Her stomach dropped. No comment. We've spoken with 5 different charities you claim to work with. All of them say the same thing. You never donated, never volunteered. The photos are fake. Do you deny this? I have nothing to say. We've also obtained invoices from a graphic design company showing you paid for composite images. Images matching the ones you posted. Would you like to explain that? Her hands went numb. How did you... We're running the story tomorrow morning. With or without your statement. I'm giving you a chance to tell your side. She hung up. Threw the phone across the room, watched it shatter against the wall. Her manager called on the landline. She didn't know she still had a landline. Ava, we need to talk. His voice was tight, stressed. I can't do this right now. You don't have a choice. This is bad. Really bad. We need to get ahead of it. How? How do we get ahead of proof? Silence. You're admitting it's true? Does it matter? They have receipts. Literal receipts. More silence. I need to think about whether I can still represent you. James... But he'd already hung up. She sat alone in her apartment. The place she'd bought with sponsorship money. Money she'd earned by lying, by exploiting the image of suffering children. She looked around, at the designer furniture, the art on the walls, the life she'd built. All of it felt hollow, empty, like a stage set, which is exactly what it was, a performance. And she'd just forgotten her lines. The story dropped at 6 a.m., our front page of the LA Times website. Influencer Ava Chen accused of elaborate charity fraud scheme. They had everything. The invoices, interviews with the charities, a forensic analysis of her photos showing they'd been doctored, quotes from child welfare experts calling it exploitative, disgusting, harmful. And they had something else. Financial records, showing she'd written off the fake donations on her taxes, claimed deductions for money she never gave. That made it federal. Her phone started ringing again. New number. She answered without thinking. Ava Chen? Yes. This is Special Agent Torres with the FBI. We need to schedule a time to speak with you regarding potential tax fraud and wire fraud charges. The room spun. I need to call my lawyer. That's fine, but we will be in touch. Don't leave the state. Click. She couldn't breathe. This wasn't supposed to happen. It was supposed to be harmless. Just some photos. Just some stories. No one was supposed to get hurt. But people had been hurt. The charities whose reputations she'd borrowed. The donors who might think twice before giving now. The children whose images she'd used without permission, without dignity. She'd turned suffering into content, into engagement, into money. Her doorbell rang. She looked at the security monitor, news vans, reporters, cameras. They'd found her address. She stepped back from the door, grabbed her keys, went to the garage, got in her car, drove. She didn't know where, just away. But there was no away. Her face was everywhere. Billboards she'd been on now looked like accusations. Her skincare line was being pulled from stores. Ulta released a statement, and Sephora did the same. "We don't condone this behavior and have ended our partnership effective immediately." She drove to her parents' house, Pasadena, quiet neighborhood. Her mom answered the door, looked at her, didn't smile. "You need to come in." Her dad was in the living room, watching the news, her face on the screen. He didn't look at her when she walked in. "Dad, don't." His voice was flat, hard. "I defended you. To everyone. Said my daughter wouldn't do that. Wouldn't lie like that." He finally looked at her. "But you did." Her mom sat down, folded her hands. "We got calls from reporters, from neighbors, from people we haven't spoken to in years. Everyone wants to know if we knew, if we helped you." "I didn't mean for this to happen." "What did you think would happen?" her mom asked. "That no one would check? That you could just lie forever?" "I don't know. I wasn't thinking." "That's the problem," her dad said. "You weren't thinking about anyone but yourself." She wanted to argue, to defend herself, but she couldn't. They were right. She'd been selfish, reckless, cruel. She'd used people suffering as a prop, as a way to make herself look good, to seem deep, meaningful, when really she was empty, chasing likes, chasing validation from strangers who didn't know her, didn't care about her, just wanted to consume her image and move on. "What are you going to do?" her mom asked. Ava looked at her hands. "I don't know. You need a lawyer. A good one." "I know. And you need to tell the truth, all of it, no more lies." Ava nodded. But the truth felt impossible. The truth meant admitting everything, facing consequences, losing everything she'd built. But maybe that was the point. Maybe she deserved to lose it, because it was never real anyway. She hired a lawyer, criminal defense, cost her $50,000 just to retain him. He looked at the evidence, looked at her. "This is bad. Federal charges are likely. Tax fraud, wire fraud, possibly identity theft, depending on how they want to prosecute." "What's my best option?" "Cooperation, full disclosure, allocution. Throw yourself on the mercy of the court." "Will I go to prison?" He paused. "Possibly. But if we play this right, maybe probation, restitution, community service." She met with the FBI, told them everything, where she got the photos, how she edited them, the fake donation claims, the tax deductions, all of it. They recorded it, took notes, asked questions. She answered truthfully, and for the first time in years, she told the truth. It felt strange, foreign, like speaking a language she'd forgotten. The formal charges came 3 weeks later. Wire fraud, tax fraud, making false statements, maximum sentence 15 years. Her lawyer negotiated a plea deal. She'd plead guilty, pay $2.3 million in restitution, serve 18 months in federal prison, 5 years probation, and she had to give a public statement. Full confession, no excuses. She recorded it in her apartment alone. No makeup, no filter, just her. "My name is Ava Chen, and I lied to you. For 3 years, I posted about charity work I never did. I claimed to donate money I never gave. I used images of children suffering to make myself look compassionate, to gain followers, to make money. I was wrong, completely wrong. I hurt organizations doing real work. I exploited vulnerable people, and I lied to all of you who trusted me. I'm sorry. I know that's not enough. I know sorry doesn't fix this, but I'm saying it anyway. I'm accepting responsibility for what I did. I'm pleading guilty to federal charges. I'm going to prison. And I deserve it. If you want to help people, really help them. Donate to actual charities. Do your research. Don't trust people like me. Don't trust performance. Trust action. Real action. I'm sorry. She posted it, turned off her phone, sat in silence. The video went viral, not for sympathy, for accountability. People shared it as a cautionary tale. Some forgave her, most didn't. The comments were brutal, honest, deserved. She read all of them, every single one, let them sink in. This was her legacy now, not the perfect life, not the curated image, but the truth. At the ugly, shameful truth of who she'd been. Prison was worse than she expected. Better in some ways, worse in others. She had time to think. Too much time. She thought about the children in those photos. The real children. Living in real poverty, while she'd use their pain for likes. She wrote letters to the charities, apologized, offered to volunteer when she got out. Most didn't respond. One did. Hope Without Borders. Margaret wrote back. We don't accept your apology, but we accept your offer. When you're released, come to Uganda. Actually come. See the work. Do the work. Maybe then you'll understand what you exploited. Ava served 14 months. Got out early for good behavior. She was 28 now. No followers, no brand, no money. She'd lost everything. Moved back in with her parents. Got a job at a coffee shop. I paid off her restitution slowly, saved every dollar she could. And 1 year after her release, she bought a plane ticket. One way. To Uganda. She didn't post about it. Didn't tell anyone. Just went. Met Margaret at the airport. Margaret looked at her. No smile. You ready to work? Yes. Good. Because this isn't a photo op. This is real. I know. Ava spent 6 months there, building wells, teaching kids, living in the same conditions as the volunteers. No luxury, no comfort. Just work. Hard work. She got sick twice, sunburned, exhausted. And slowly something changed. She started to see the people, not as content, not as props, but as human beings, with names, with stories, with dignity. She learned their language, listened to their dreams, helped where she could, and for the first time in years, she felt useful. Real. When she came back to the States, she started over. Got a degree in nonprofit management, worked for small organizations, stayed off social media, lived quietly. Some people recognized her. Most didn't. The ones who did had opinions. She listened, took it, didn't argue. She'd earned it, but slowly, over years, she built something new. Not a brand, just a life. A real one. Based on actual work, actual impact. No cameras, no performance, just showing up, day after day, doing the work. 10 years later, she got a letter from Margaret. I'm retiring. I wanted you to know that the work you did here mattered. Not the fake stuff from before, but the real work, after you left. The school you helped fund with your own money. The well you helped dig. The kids you taught to read. That was real. You'll never undo what you did. But you did something after, and that counts for something. Maybe not everything, but something. Ava read it twice, cried. Not from relief, from gratitude. For a second chance she didn't deserve, but got anyway. She kept the letter, framed it, put it on her desk. A reminder. Not of redemption, but of responsibility. Of the difference between image and action. Between performance and truth. She'd spent years building a lie, and it had cost her everything. But in losing everything, she'd found the one thing worth keeping. The ability to look at herself in the mirror and see someone real, flawed, broken, but real. And maybe that was enough. If this story made you think about the difference between looking good and doing good, share it. Real change doesn't come with likes. It comes with showing up when no one's watching.